Welcome to Cozy Sleep Haven. Wind down, cuddle up, and let's get cozy. Tonight's episode invites you to step into Sam's Bakery, where the magic of Christmas comes alive in the glow of twinkling lights and the warmth of freshly baked holiday treats. Together, we'll journey through the world of Christmas baking, exploring festive treats from around the globe. From spiced cookies and buttery pastries to golden breads that tell stories of tradition and celebration, Sam will guide us through a tapestry of flavors and memories that capture the spirit of the season. We hope you enjoy tonight's visit to Sam's Bakery and that you'll return to explore more cozy moments in Havenport. Your support helps us continue bringing stories like this to life, so please take a moment to subscribe and join our growing cozy community. Here at Cozy Sleep Haven, we celebrate the simple joys that bring comfort. Whether it's the scent of cinnamon in the air, the glow of candlelight, or the peace of a snowy night, our goal is to help you relax, unwind, and let the day's worries gently drift away. Now let's take a moment to find calm together. Close your eyes if you'd like, and take a slow, deep breath in and out. Feel the warmth of the bakery wrap around you like a cozy blanket, as the scents of cinnamon, nutmeg, and freshly baked bread fill the air. Take another deep breath in and out, letting the tension ease from your shoulders with every exhale. With one last deep breath, picture yourself in the quiet of Sam's Bakery, the twinkling lights casting a soft glow, the gentle hum of the oven, and the peaceful sound of snow falling outside. Now, let's step into the warmth of Sam's Bakery. Wind down, snuggle up, and let's get cozy.
The world outside is blanketed in a thick, soft layer of snow, muffling every sound. The street lamps cast a warm golden glow on the frost-covered windows of the bakery, the light reflecting on the delicate ice crystals that have formed along the edges of the glass. It's the kind of night where the world feels still, as if even time has slowed down to savor the season. Inside, the bakery hums with gentle activity. Twinkling lights drape across the shelves, casting playful shadows on jars of spices and bowls of dried fruits. A small tree stands in the corner, decorated with ornaments that glint in the soft light. The scent of Christmas fills the air. Spiced gingerbread cooling on racks, buttery shortbread just out of the oven, and the faint, rich aroma of marzipan waiting to be tucked into loaves of stollen. Come in, shake off the chill, and find a seat by the counter. I'll pour you a cup of tea. It's one of my favorites, a spiced blend that pairs perfectly with the season. Let your hands wrap around the warm mug as you settle in. Take a deep breath. Can you feel the tension melting away already? The bakery has a way of doing that, especially on a night like this. Close your eyes for a moment if it feels right. Picture the glow of the lights, the soft hum of the ovens, and the gentle clink of a wooden spoon stirring something wonderful. Let those sounds and scents wrap around you like the coziest blanket, inviting you to relax, to be still. This is your space tonight, a quiet retreat where the outside world feels far away. This time of year, the bakery comes alive in a way that feels different from any other season. There's an extra kind of warmth in the air, a sense of joy and tradition baked into every cookie and cake. The counters are dusted with flour and lined with trays of holiday treats. Delicate gingerbread men with cheerful icing smiles, pillowy saffron buns shaped into twists, and golden panettone towering in their tins, dotted with jewel-like candied fruit. Christmas baking is a world all its own, filled with flavors that feel as timeless as the season itself. Spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves weave through every recipe, their aromas carrying a sense of comfort and familiarity. Each treat has a story, a history that stretches across centuries and continents, connecting us to bakers who came before us and the celebrations they cherished. That's what we'll explore tonight. The magic of Christmas baking from around the globe. We'll talk about cookies and cakes, breads and pastries, each one unique yet bound together by the spirit of the season. There are treats that have been baked for generations, their recipes passed down like precious heirlooms, and modern twists that add a little creativity to the traditions. Together, they make up a tapestry of flavors and memories that define this time of year. As I prepare the next batch of dough, I invite you to let your mind wander. Imagine bustling European markets filled with the scent of roasted chestnuts and freshly baked Lebkuchen. Picture cozy Scandinavian kitchens where saffron buns cool on the windowsill and Latin American plazas alive with the warmth of buñuelos frying in hot oil. Each place, each treat carries its own kind of magic. But for now, here in the bakery, everything is calm. The snow continues to fall outside, and the glow of the lights makes the space feel like its own little world, one filled with sweetness and warmth. Breathe deeply, let the scents and sounds guide you, and allow yourself to sink into the peace of this moment. So, are you ready? Let's dive into the world of Christmas treats, one spiced loaf, one buttery cookie, one sugary delight at a time. Together, we'll uncover the stories, traditions, and flavors that make this season so special. Take another sip of tea. Feel the warmth settle into your chest. And let's begin this sweet journey. You know, it's funny to think about how Christmas baking even started. I mean, it wasn't always about cookies shaped like stars or cakes covered in frosting snow. Back in the day, way back, people used baking to celebrate the winter solstice. They'd make these rich, spiced cakes or breads to mark the occasion. Something a little extra to bring some cheer to the darkest days of the year. And it wasn't just for the taste, it was symbolic. Spices like cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg were rare and expensive, real treasures. To bake with them was like saying, "This is special, this matters." Can you imagine the excitement of using these exotic ingredients that traveled across continents to end up in your kitchen? A little pinch of cinnamon in a cake felt like magic. In medieval Europe, this is where things really started to take shape. Bakers began to play around with dried fruits, things like raisins, dates, and figs. They'd mix them into breads and cakes, making them dense, rich, and flavorful. These treats were often saved for big celebrations like Christmas. And here's the thing, they weren't just for eating. Sometimes they were gifts, and sometimes they were offerings, left out to bring good fortune or honor the occasion. Then there's sugar. It wasn't always as easy to come by as it is now. When it became more widely available, people started using it to sweeten and preserve their holiday treats. Think of those candied fruits you see in fruit cakes. That's sugar doing its job, keeping things festive and lasting well past Christmas. Even the shape of the treats started to carry meaning. Some cakes were baked in rings to symbolize the cycle of the seasons, or loaves were shaped like animals or stars to reflect the themes of the holiday. It wasn't just baking, it was storytelling. A loaf of bread wasn't just a loaf of bread, it was a celebration of life, renewal, and hope. And those spices, they became synonymous with Christmas. Cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, they still bring that holiday feeling, don't they? You smell them, and suddenly it feels like Christmas, and no matter what time of year it is. That connection goes all the way back to these early bakers who turned simple ingredients into something meaningful. So when you're mixing up dough or sprinkling cinnamon on something, just think about it. You're part of this long line of people who've used baking to make the season a little brighter, a little sweeter. Isn't that a nice thought? It's like carrying a little bit of history with you every time you crack an egg or roll out some dough. Pretty magical, isn't it? Ah, Christmas cookies. There's just something about them, isn't there? They're not just treats, they're traditions. Every family seems to have their own favorites. Recipes passed down, tweaked, perfected. And the best part? They come in every shape, size, and flavor you can imagine. Let's start in Germany, where Lebkuchen reigns supreme. These spiced cookies are kind of like gingerbread, but softer, chewier, and often coated in a thin glaze or dipped in chocolate. They've been around for centuries. Monks started making them way back in the Middle Ages. Imagine biting into one, the warm blend of cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg, with just a hint of honey. It's like Christmas in cookie form. Then there's spiekeletjes from the Netherlands. These crisp, buttery cookies are traditionally pressed into molds to create intricate designs, windmills, animals, little scenes from daily life. And the flavor? Oh, it's incredible. They're spiced with cardamom, cloves, and ginger, with a deep caramel note from brown sugar. It's the kind of cookie that makes you want to sit by the fire with a cup of tea. In Sweden, you've got pepparkakor, those thin, crisp ginger cookies that people hang on their Christmas trees. They're spiced, yes, but they're also delicately sweet, with a snap that's as satisfying as cracking open a candy cane. And here's the fun part. It's said that if you hold a pepparkaka in your hand, make a wish, and press on the middle until it breaks, your wish will come true if the cookie splits into 3 clean pieces. Sweet, right? Italy has its own cookie traditions too. Take amaretti, for example. These almond-flavored cookies are chewy on the inside and slightly crisp on the outside, dusted with powdered sugar. They're perfect with a cup of espresso after a big Christmas feast. And let's not forget pizzelle, thin, waffle-like cookies pressed in ornate irons and often flavored with anise or vanilla. They're as beautiful as they are delicious. Even over in the US, Christmas cookies have become a thing of their own. Think of those buttery sugar cookies shaped like trees, stars, and snowmen, covered in colorful frosting and sprinkles. Or snickerdoodles, rolled in cinnamon sugar and baked until their edges are golden and crisp, their centers soft and chewy. And who doesn't love a good chocolate crinkle cookie with its fudgy interior and powdered sugar coating that cracks as it bakes? Every cookie tells a story. They're part of the holidays, sure, but they're also a chance to connect with the people who bake them, with the places they come from, and with the memories they bring back. There's a reason why baking cookies feels so comforting. It's not just about the cookies themselves. It's about the smells filling the kitchen, the flour on your hands, the laughter when someone sneaks a taste of the dough. So next time you grab a cookie, take a moment to savor it. Think about where it comes from, the hands that shaped it, the traditions it carries. Because Christmas cookies aren't just about sweetness. They're about the little joys that make the season bright. Let's talk about gingerbread. It's one of those treats that feels quintessentially Christmas, don't you think? The warm spices, the golden brown dough, the way it fills the house with the coziest aroma. It's magic. But gingerbread isn't just cookies and houses. It's a tradition steeped in history and storytelling. The roots of gingerbread go way back to ancient times, when ginger was prized not just for its flavor, but for its supposed medicinal properties. By the Middle Ages, European bakers were incorporating ginger into their breads, and it wasn't long before the recipes evolved into something sweeter and more intricate. Picture medieval fairs where gingerbread was sold in decorative shapes, animals, flowers, and even people, sometimes gilded with gold leaf. These weren't just snacks, they were edible works of art. Fast forward to the 16th century, and we find Queen Elizabeth I giving gingerbread men their royal debut. Legend has it that she had cookies shaped like her favorite courtiers, made to impress guests at her banquets. Can you imagine being handed a little edible version of yourself at a royal feast? Talk about making an impression. Then there are gingerbread houses. We can thank the Brothers Grimm for popularizing them. After Hansel and Gretel hit the scene, the idea of making little edible cottages out of gingerbread caught on, especially in Germany. Families would gather to build these intricate houses, decorating them with candy, icing, and whatever else they could dream up. The tradition spread, and today, gingerbread house contests are a staple of the season. But gingerbread isn't just for show. It's meant to be eaten too. And the flavor, it's the perfect balance of sweet and spicy. The ginger gives it a bit of a kick, while the molasses adds depth and richness. Every bite feels like a hug in cookie form. Whether it's a crispy ginger snap or a soft, chewy gingerbread cookie, the texture is as comforting as the taste. What I love most about gingerbread, though, is how versatile it is. You can roll it out for cookies, mold it into a house, or even bake it as a cake. Some people add lemon glaze for a tangy twist, while others go heavy on the spices for a bolder flavor. It's one of those recipes that invites creativity, which is probably why it's been around for centuries. And let's not forget the joy of decorating, whether it's adding gumdrop roofs to a gingerbread house or piping little smiles onto gingerbread people. There's something so satisfying about turning a simple piece of dough into something whimsical and festive. It's an activity that brings people together, whether it's kids getting messy with icing or friends laughing over their slightly lopsided creations. So, when you see gingerbread this season, take a moment to appreciate it, not just for the way it tastes, but for the history, the tradition, and the creativity it represents. After all, it's not just a cookie, it's a little piece of Christmas magic. When it comes to Christmas, bread often takes on a starring role, not just as food, but as a symbol of abundance, community, and celebration. Across the world, holiday breads come in all shapes and flavors, each one carrying its own traditions and stories. They're not just baked, they're crafted with care, love, and sometimes even a bit of ceremony. Let's start with panettone, the iconic Italian Christmas bread. Tall and golden, studded with dried fruits and candied citrus, panettone is as much dessert as it is a bread. The texture is soft and airy, almost cake-like, thanks to a long fermentation process. Imagine pulling apart a slice and savoring the buttery richness with bursts of sweetness from raisins and orange peel. In Italy, it's often enjoyed with coffee or a glass of sparkling wine, making it the centerpiece of festive gatherings. Then there's German stollen, a dense, fruit-packed bread dusted with powdered sugar. It's like a treasure chest of holiday flavors, with every bite offering something new. Almonds, dried fruits, candied orange peel, and sometimes even a ribbon of marzipan running through the center. Stollen dates back to the 1400s. Originally a more austere bread baked during Advent. Over time, it became richer and more decadent, transforming into the sweet loaf we know today. The powdered sugar coating, it's said to represent the snowy swaddling of the Christ child, a reminder of its symbolic origins. In Greece, there's Christopsomo, or Christ's bread. This round spiced loaf is often decorated with a cross and symbols that represent the family or household, made with ingredients like cinnamon, cloves, and walnuts. Christopsomo isn't just bread, it's an offering, baked with reverence and served with care. It's traditional to cut the loaf on Christmas Eve, sharing it among loved ones as a blessing for the coming year. Eastern Europe has its own rich bread traditions. In countries like Poland and Ukraine, kolak is a braided bread often arranged in a circle to symbolize eternity. It's sometimes baked with 3 braids, representing the Holy Trinity, and served as part of the Christmas Eve meal. The bread is placed at the center of the table, surrounded by other symbolic foods, creating a feast that feels both sacred and celebratory. Even in Scandinavian countries, where simplicity often reigns, holiday breads are anything but plain. Julekaka, a Norwegian Christmas bread, is filled with raisins, candied peel, and cardamom, giving it a warm, aromatic flavor that pairs beautifully with a pat of butter. In Sweden, Saffron buns called lucicatter are baked for St. Lucia's Day. Their bright yellow hue a nod to the return of light during the darkest time of the year. What ties all these breads together is their ability to bring people together. They're not just something to eat, they're something to share, to savor slowly over conversation, laughter, and maybe a steaming mug of mulled wine. Each loaf carries with it the history, traditions, and flavors of the culture it comes from, but they all have one thing in common. They're baked with love. So the next time you see a loaf of panettone or a slice of stollen, take a moment to appreciate it. Not just for its sweetness or texture, but for the care that went into it and the stories it carries. After all, bread has a way of bringing warmth to the holidays, both to our tables and to our hearts. When it comes to Christmas desserts, cakes often steal the show, and none is more iconic than the bûche de Noël or Yule log. This French masterpiece is as much about artistry as it is about flavor. Picture a light sponge cake rolled with rich buttercream, shaped and decorated to look like a log, complete with swirls that mimic tree rings and frosting bark dusted with powdered sugar to resemble freshly fallen snow. Some even add sugared holly leaves and meringue mushrooms to complete the woodland look. It's a dessert that's almost too beautiful to eat. Almost. The origins of the Yule log cake trace back to an older tradition of burning a literal Yule log in the hearth as part of winter solstice celebrations. The log was meant to bring warmth and protection through the coldest nights. As hearths gave way to smaller fireplaces, the burning log became symbolic, and the edible version emerged in 19th century France. Today, the bûche de Noël is a centerpiece of Christmas tables around the world, blending history with indulgence. Across the Channel in Britain, Christmas cakes take on a slightly different form. Think of Christmas pudding with its dense, steamed texture packed with dried fruits, nuts, and a generous splash of brandy. It's not a quick dessert. The best puddings are made weeks or even months in advance to let the flavors deepen. On Christmas Day, the pudding is traditionally doused in brandy and set aflame before being served, creating a dramatic, flickering display that lights up the table. Italy offers its own festive cakes, including Pandoro, a cousin to panettone. Shaped like a star and dusted with powdered sugar, Pandoro is light, buttery, and less fruit-filled than its sibling, making it a favorite for those who prefer a simpler, yet equally elegant dessert. Imagine slicing into the golden layers. Their soft, pillowy texture perfect for pairing with a drizzle of chocolate or cream. Scandinavia also has its share of celebratory cakes. In Denmark, kransekake takes the spotlight. This towering almond cake is made of concentric rings stacked into a pyramid and often decorated with icing and flags. It's a dessert for special occasions, and its chewy, marzipan-like texture is as delightful to eat as it is striking to look at. Meanwhile, in Finland, joulutorttu, star-shaped puff pastries filled with prune jam, add a festive, flaky touch to Christmas tables. Even in the US, cakes have become an integral part of holiday celebrations, with variations like fruitcake, a dessert that, despite its polarizing reputation, remains a cherished tradition for many families. loaded with candied fruits, nuts, and often soaked in spirits. A good fruitcake can be a rich, flavorful treat when made with care. More modern twists like red velvet or peppermint chocolate layer cakes bring new flavors to the table while still capturing the festive spirit. Cakes, like breads, have a way of bringing people together. Whether it's the intricate craftsmanship of a bûche de Noël or the comforting sweetness of a Christmas pudding, these desserts invite us to pause, savor, and celebrate. They're a reminder that the holidays aren't just about the treats themselves, but the memories we create around them. The laughter, the stories, and the shared moments that make this season so special. So as you enjoy a slice of holiday cake, let it be more than just a dessert. Let it be a piece of the season's joy. When it comes to Christmas treats, cookies and pastries shine brightly in holiday traditions worldwide. Each country brings its own flavors, textures, and shapes to the table, creating a dazzling variety of sweet delights that capture the magic of the season. Let's begin in Mexico with polvorones, also known as Mexican wedding cookies. These crumbly shortbread-like cookies, made with ground nuts and coated in powdered sugar, practically melt in your mouth. Imagine biting into one. The delicate sweetness, the hint of nuttiness, and the way the sugar dusts your fingers like fresh snow. Polvorones are a staple at Christmas celebrations, often baked in big batches to share with family and friends. In Italy, pizzelle takes center stage. These thin, waffle-like cookies are made using a special iron that presses intricate patterns into the dough. Flavored with anise or vanilla, pizzelle are crisp, light, and as beautiful as they are delicious. Picture a tray of these golden treats, the delicate designs reminiscent of lace. Perfect for nibbling with a warm espresso or a cup of mulled wine. Another Italian favorite is amaretti, almond cookies with a chewy interior and a slightly crisp exterior. Made with almond flour and often dusted with powdered sugar, amaretti deliver a rich, nutty flavor in every bite. Their simplicity is part of their charm, making them a favorite during holiday gatherings. In the Czech Republic, vanilkové rolíky are a holiday classic. These crescent-shaped cookies are made with ground nuts, typically walnuts or almonds, and dusted with vanilla sugar. Their tender, buttery texture and subtle sweetness make them a cherished part of Czech Christmas traditions. Imagine a plate of these crescent-shaped cookies on a snowy evening. The delicate flavor perfect for savoring by the fire. Head to Austria and you'll find Linzer cookies, delicate sandwich cookies filled with jam, usually raspberry or apricot, and dusted with powdered sugar. Their dough, made with ground almonds or hazelnuts, gives them a slightly nutty flavor that pairs beautifully with a sweet tart jam. The small cutout in the top cookie often features festive shapes like stars or hearts, adding to their charm. In Greece, kourabiedes are a must-have for Christmas. These buttery shortbread cookies are flavored with brandy or rose water and generously coated in powdered sugar, giving them a snowy appearance. Their crumbly texture and subtle almond flavor make them a festive treat that's hard to resist. In Scandinavia, pepperkakor spiced cookies are a holiday staple. These thin, crispy cookies are similar to gingerbread, but with their own unique blend of spices. Often shaped like stars, hearts, or animals, pepperkakor are as much a decoration as they are a snack, frequently hung on Christmas trees or arranged on festive platters. Across the globe, these cookies and pastries bring joy not just through their flavors, but through the traditions that they represent. They're baked with care, shared with love, and savored slowly, each bite carrying the warmth of the season. Whether it's a nutty polvoron, a spiced pepper cake, or a delicate pitzel, these treats remind us of the universal language of sweetness and the way food connects us across cultures. So, as you nibble on a Christmas cookie this season, think of the stories it carries, of the bakers who shaped it, the families who share it, and the traditions it keeps alive. After all, a cookie is never just a cookie during the holidays. It's a little piece of joy, baked with love and meant to be shared. There's something magical about Christmas treats made especially for kids. They're often simple, colorful, and whimsical, designed to bring smiles to little faces and create memories that last a lifetime. From sugar cookies left out for Santa to candy canes hanging on the tree, these treats capture the playful joy of the holiday season. Let's start with classic Christmas sugar cookies, a staple in many homes. These buttery, slightly sweet cookies are cut into shapes like stars, snowflakes, and reindeer before being decorated with vibrant icing and sprinkles. For kids, the decorating is half the fun. Imagine a table covered in bowls of colored frosting, tubes of icing, and an explosion of sprinkles as little hands eagerly bring their cookie creations to life. They're not just making treats, they're making memories. Then there are chocolate crinkled cookies, which look like little snowballs that have cracked under the winter chill. With their soft, fudgy centers and powdered sugar coating, they're a favorite for kids who love rich chocolate flavors. And they're as fun to make as they are to eat, rolling the dough in sugar and watching the cracks form as they bake feels a bit like magic. Another classic for kids is snowball cookies, also known as Russian tea cakes or Mexican wedding cookies. These bite-sized treats, rolled in powdered sugar, have a crumbly texture that melts in your mouth. Their playful, snowy appearance makes them a hit with little ones who can't resist anything sweet and powdery. Of course, no discussion of children's Christmas treats is complete without mentioning candy canes. These peppermint-striped classics are as much decoration as they are dessert. Kids love unwrapping them, crunching them, or stirring them into a cup of hot cocoa for a festive twist. The bright red and white spirals make them feel like the holiday season wrapped up in candy form. For something a little more hands-on, there's the tradition of building and decorating gingerbread houses. Kids can spend hours attaching gumdrops, candy canes, and sprinkles to create their edible masterpieces. It's less about the final product and more about the experience. The laughter, the sticky fingers, and the joy of creating something together. Many families also make chocolate-dipped pretzels, an easy treat that's perfect for kids to help with. The pretzels are dipped in melted chocolate, then sprinkled with festive toppings like crushed candy canes or colored sugar. The mix of sweet and salty makes them irresistible, and they're a great option for holiday parties or gifts. Finally, there's the tradition of baking cookies to leave out for Santa. Kids carefully select the best ones, sometimes adding a glass of milk or a carrot for the reindeer. It's a small ritual, but one that feels magical, like they're part of the holiday's larger story. These treats aren't just about sugar and chocolate. They're about creating moments of joy. Whether it's the excitement of decorating cookies, the fun of unwrapping a candy cane, or the pride of building a gingerbread house, these traditions bring families together in the best way. And that's the sweetest treat of all. If there's one thing that truly sets Christmas baking apart, it's the spices and ingredients that define the season. Just a hint of cinnamon, nutmeg, or cloves can transport you to a winter wonderland, no matter the time of year. These flavors are the essence of holiday treats, and their history is as rich as their aromas. Let's start with cinnamon, the star of so many Christmas classics. This warm, sweet spice has been cherished for centuries, originally imported from far-off lands and once considered a treasure fit for royalty. Imagine the smell of cinnamon wafting through the kitchen as cookies bake or mulled cider simmers on the stove. It's a scent that feels like a hug, comforting, nostalgic, and undeniably festive. Then there's nutmeg, with its slightly nutty, earthy sweetness. This little seed packs a punch, adding depth to everything from gingerbread to eggnog. Nutmeg was another luxury ingredient in its early days, transported across oceans to become a staple in European holiday baking. Picture a sprinkle of freshly grated nutmeg on a warm custard tart, or mixed into a spiced loaf, its aroma filling the air with holiday cheer. Cloves are another essential, lending their bold, slightly peppery flavor to a host of Christmas treats. They're often paired with cinnamon and nutmeg, creating that classic spiced profile we associate with the holidays. Close your eyes and imagine biting into a slice of stollen or sipping a spiced tea, the cloves adding just the right amount of warmth and complexity. Of course, we can't forget about ginger. Whether it's fresh, powdered, or crystallized, ginger brings a zesty kick to holiday favorites like gingerbread cookies, cakes, and even savory dishes. Its heat balances beautifully with sweetness, making it a must-have for Christmas baking. Picture a tray of soft, chewy gingerbread cookies fresh from the oven, the spicy aroma wrapping around you like a warm scarf. Beyond spices, dried fruits play a starring role in many holiday recipes. Think of the plump raisins, golden sultanas, and tart cranberries found in fruitcakes and puddings. These fruits, often soaked in rum or brandy, add bursts of sweetness and a chewy texture that make each bite special. Candied citrus peel, with its bright, tangy flavor, adds a touch of sunshine to rich breads like panettone and stollen. Nuts are another key ingredient, bringing crunch and richness to festive treats. Almonds, hazelnuts, and walnuts are ground into cookies, folded into doughs, or sprinkled on top of cakes. Imagine the delicate almond flavor of amaretti cookies, or the satisfying crunch of pecans in a spiced loaf. Finally, we come to sugar. It's the backbone of holiday baking, not just for its sweetness, but for the way it caramelizes, glazes, and transforms simple ingredients into something magical. From the powdered sugar dusting a snowball cookie to the glossy sheen of a gingerbread house's royal icing, sugar is the finishing touch that makes Christmas treats sparkle. These spices and ingredients aren't just flavors, they're traditions. They carry with them centuries of history, trade, and culture woven into the fabric of holiday baking. As you mix, sprinkle, and bake this season, take a moment to savor the magic of these humble yet extraordinary elements. They're the heart of what makes Christmas baking so special. In Latin America, Christmas baking is a vibrant blend of flavors, traditions, and family gatherings. From sweetbreads to crisp pastries, every treat tells a story of community and celebration. Imagine a warm kitchen filled with laughter, music, and the rich, comforting scents of cinnamon, vanilla, and fried dough. One of the most beloved traditions is rosca de reyes, or king's bread. This circular sweetbread, decorated with candied fruits to resemble a jeweled crown, is typically served on January 6th, Three Kings Day. The dough is soft and lightly sweet, often flavored with orange blossom water or citrus zest. Inside, a small figurine of the baby Jesus is hidden, and whoever finds it in their slice is tasked with hosting a celebration later in the year. The anticipation of finding the figurine turns every bite into a little moment of excitement. In Mexico, buñuelos are a holiday staple. These thin, crispy fritters are made by rolling dough into delicate circles, frying them until golden, and then dusting them generously with cinnamon sugar or drizzling them with syrup. Picture the satisfying crunch of the first bite, followed by a wave of sweetness. Buñuelos are often enjoyed at festive gatherings, with families frying them fresh and sharing stories late into the evening. For something cozier, there's punch navideño, a warm fruit punch made with guavas, tamarind, and cinnamon. While technically a drink, it's often paired with cookies or pastries, creating a perfect moment of holiday indulgence. It's the kind of treat that warms you from the inside out, a sweet and spicy reminder of the season. In Puerto Rico, coquito cookies bring the flavors of the island's famous holiday drink into a sweet, portable form. These coconut-flavored cookies are soft, rich, and often spiked with a hint of rum or nutmeg. Imagine the tropical sweetness of coconut paired with the warmth of holiday spices, creating a cookie that feels like sunshine wrapped in Christmas cheer. Across Central and South America, alfajores are a holiday favorite. These delicate sandwich cookies, filled with dulce de leche and often dusted with powdered sugar or coated in chocolate, are pure indulgence. The buttery, crumbly texture of the cookie pairs perfectly with the creamy, caramel-like filling, making every bite an experience to savor. And then there's the communal aspect of baking in Latin America. Many families gather to make tamales during the holidays, and while tamales are savory, the process often spills over into the realm of sweets. Desserts like tamales dulces, made with sweetened corn dough and flavored with cinnamon, raisins, or fruit, bring a touch of sweetness to the tradition. What makes Christmas baking in Latin America so special is the way it brings people together. It's not just about the treats, it's about the time spent preparing them with loved ones, the laughter in the kitchen, and the joy of sharing something delicious. These traditions are a reminder that the sweetest part of the season isn't the sugar or the spices. It's the moments we share with the people we care about most. So as you picture a platter of buñuelos or a slice of rosca de reyes, let it carry you to a place where warmth, joy, and tradition blend into something truly magical. Scandinavian holiday baking is like stepping into a winter wonderland, filled with golden pastries, warm spices, and traditions that are as cozy as they are delicious. Imagine snowy evenings, candlelight flickering in the windows, and kitchens bustling with the scents of saffron, cardamom, and freshly baked dough. These treats are more than desserts. They're an integral part of celebrating the season in Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Finland. Let's begin with lussekatter, or saffron buns from Sweden. These bright yellow S-shaped buns are baked in honor of St. Lucia's Day, celebrated on December 13th. Made with a rich, sweet dough infused with saffron, lussekatter have a distinctive flavor that's both delicate and warming. They're traditionally decorated with raisins and served with coffee or hot chocolate. Imagine pulling apart the soft, golden bun and savoring its subtle sweetness as the faint scent of saffron lingers in the air. In Norway, the spotlight often falls on kransekake, an almond ring cake that's as much a decoration as it is a dessert. The cake is made by stacking concentric rings of almond dough into a tall, pyramid-like structure, often adorned with ribbons, icing, and small flags. Its chewy texture and marzipan-like flavor make it a standout treat at festive gatherings. Picture a kransekake standing proudly at the center of the holiday table, each ring a symbol of togetherness and celebration. Denmark's holiday baking centers around kleiner, twisted fried dough that's crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. These simple yet satisfying pastries are often flavored with cardamom or vanilla and sprinkled with sugar. Kleiner are the kind of treat you can imagine nibbling on while wrapped in a blanket, watching snowflakes drift past the window. Meanwhile, in Finland, joulutorttu takes center stage. These star-shaped pastries, made with buttery puff pastry and filled with prune jam, are as beautiful as they are delicious. The crisp, flaky layers of the dough contrast perfectly with the sweet, sticky filling, creating a treat that's light yet satisfying. They're often enjoyed with coffee during holiday gatherings, adding a touch of elegance to the table. Across all Scandinavian countries, cookies play an essential role in holiday celebrations. Pepparkakor, Sweden's famous ginger cookies, are thin, crisp, and spiced with cinnamon, cloves, and ginger. They're often cut into festive shapes like hearts and stars, and sometimes hung as ornaments on Christmas trees. In Norway, serinakaker, buttery cookies topped with pearl sugar or chopped almonds, are a classic Christmas treat. These cookies are simple yet irresistible, the kind of treat you can't stop reaching for What makes Scandinavian holiday baking so special is its balance of simplicity and tradition. Many recipes rely on just a few ingredients: flour, sugar, butter, and spices. But the result is something extraordinary. It's about creating warmth and comfort in the darkest days of the year. A way to celebrate light, love, and togetherness. As you imagine a plate of lussekatter or a freshly baked julutortu, think about the joy these treats bring to Scandinavian homes during the holidays. Each bite is a reminder that sometimes the simplest things, a warm bun, a crisp cookie, or a shared moment in the kitchen, can make the season feel magical. While many Christmas treats are staples of the season, some have faded into history, their flavors and traditions preserved only in old recipes and family lore. These forgotten and rare Christmas treats offer a glimpse into the past, where simpler ingredients and imaginative methods created desserts that still hold a special charm. One such treasure is Kletzenbrot, a traditional fruit bread from Austria. Made with dried pears, nuts, and spices, this dense loaf was a holiday favorite in Alpine regions. The name Kletzen refers to the dried pears that give the bread its unique flavor. Imagine slicing into this rich, spiced loaf, the natural sweetness of the pears blending with the warmth of cinnamon and cloves. It's a bread that feels like a piece of history, each slice carrying the essence of old-world holiday traditions. Then there's frumenty, a dish that dates back to medieval England. Technically more of a pudding than a baked good, frumenty was made by simmering wheat in milk and flavoring it with sugar, spices, and dried fruits. Often served as part of the Christmas feast, it was a symbol of abundance and celebration. Picture a warm bowl of frumenty, its creamy texture and subtle sweetness providing comfort on a cold winter's night. It may not be common anymore, but its echoes can still be found in modern puddings and porridge-like desserts. In Germany, Springerle cookies are an example of a rare treat that's more art than food. These anise-flavored cookies are pressed with intricately carved molds to create raised designs, scenes of Christmas, floral patterns, or whimsical animals. Springerle require patience, as the dough needs to rest overnight to allow the patterns to set before baking. The result is a cookie that's not only delicious, but also a miniature work of art. Imagine holding one of these cookies, admiring its detail before enjoying its crisp texture and delicate flavor. Another lesser-known treat is medivnik, a Ukrainian honey cake that's been a holiday staple for generations. Made with honey, warm spices, and often a touch of citrus, this cake is dense yet tender, its flavor deepened by a long baking process. It's a dessert that's steeped in tradition, with recipes often passed down through families. Imagine the scent of honey and cloves filling the kitchen as the cake bakes, a simple but profound reminder of the warmth of the holidays. From Scotland comes black bun, a spiced fruitcake encased in a thick pastry shell. Originally baked for Hogmanay, New Year's Eve, it has also found its way into Christmas celebrations. The filling is dense and rich, made with dried fruits, spices, and sometimes a splash of whiskey. The pastry shell adds a contrasting texture, creating a treat that's as hearty as it is flavorful. Picture slicing into this unusual dessert. Its dark, spiced interior, a testament to the ingenuity of holiday bakers. Finally, there's Pfeffernusse, tiny spiced cookies that originated in Germany and the Netherlands. Their name means pepper nuts, and true to their name, they're flavored with a bold mix of spices, including white pepper, cinnamon, and cloves. Coated in powdered sugar, these cookies pack a surprising punch in every bite. Their spicy sweet flavor a nod to old-world holiday traditions. These forgotten and rare Christmas treats remind us of the incredible diversity of holiday baking. Each one tells a story of its time and place, offering a taste of the past that still resonates today. As you imagine these unique desserts, think about the care and creativity that went into making them and the joy of reviving them, even if only for a moment during the holiday season. While tradition holds a special place in holiday baking, there's something exciting about putting a modern spin on classic Christmas treats. Bakers today are finding creative ways to reimagine old favorites, blending nostalgia with innovation to bring something fresh to the table. These modern twists honor the past while adding a touch of contemporary flair. Take gingerbread, for example. While traditional gingerbread cookies and houses remain beloved, modern versions include everything from gingerbread cupcakes to gingerbread cheesecake bars. Imagine biting into a fluffy cupcake spiced with ginger and cinnamon, topped with a swirl of cream cheese frosting, and maybe even a tiny gingerbread man as decoration. It's playful, festive, and deliciously indulgent. Then there's fruitcake, a dessert that often gets a bad reputation. Modern bakers are transforming it into something more approachable. Think fruitcake cookies. Bite-sized treats packed with dried fruits, nuts, and a touch of rum or brandy. Or a fruitcake trifle, layering cubes of spiced cake with whipped cream and fresh fruit for a lighter, more elegant take on the classic. These updates keep the essence of fruitcake while making it more appealing to today's palates. For fans of stollen, there's the idea of turning the traditional German bread into stollen-inspired muffins. Imagine the same flavors of dried fruits, nuts, and marzipan, but baked into individual portions, perfect for breakfast or an afternoon treat. The soft crumb of the muffin paired with the occasional bite of almond or candied orange peel feels like a familiar yet new experience. Even sugar cookies are getting a makeover. Instead of the standard iced versions, bakers are experimenting with marbled icing, metallic finishes, or even ombre effects to make their cookies look like miniature works of art. Others are infusing the dough with unexpected flavors like matcha or espresso, giving these cookies a sophisticated edge while keeping their festive charm. Another exciting trend is the reinvention of panettone. While the traditional Italian bread remains a holiday staple, bakers are turning it into panettone bread pudding, topped with a rich custard sauce, or even using it to make French toast for a decadent Christmas morning breakfast. The buttery, fruit-filled bread takes on a new life in these creative variations. And let's not forget about beverages turned into desserts. Eggnog cookies, for example, bring the creamy, spiced flavors of the the classic holiday drink into a soft, chewy treat. Or imagine a peppermint hot chocolate cake with layers of chocolate cake, peppermint flavored frosting, and crushed candy canes for crunch. It's a dessert that feels like Christmas in every bite. Modern twists don't stop at flavor. Presentation is also getting an upgrade. Dessert boards filled with mini versions of classic treats. Think tiny mince pies, bite-sized shortbread, and petite gingerbread men make for stunning, shareable centerpieces. These boards are as much about the visual appeal as the flavors, creating a feast for the eyes as well as the taste buds. What makes these modern twists so exciting is their ability to bring new life to cherished traditions. They show that while the flavors of Christmas remain timeless, there's always room for creativity and innovation. Whether it's a fruitcake reimagined as a trifle, or a gingerbread cupcake that feels like a little holiday hug, these treats remind us that the magic of Christmas baking is in its endless possibilities. So go ahead, experiment, play, and create something new. After all, the best part of baking is the joy it brings. Whether it's old-fashioned or brand new, as the day winds down and the bakery grows quieter, the warmth of Christmas baking lingers in the air. The last batch of cookies has cooled, their sweet scent mingling with a faint spice of cinnamon and cloves. The ovens are off, the counters dusted clean, and trays of treats rest neatly on the shelves, waiting to be shared with family and friends. There's something special about Christmas baking, isn't there? It's not just about the cookies or cakes or breads themselves. It's about what they represent. These treats carry stories, traditions, and memories. They bring people together, filling kitchens with laughter, hands with sticky dough, and hearts with the joy of creating something meaningful. Baking during the holidays is as much about connection as it is about flavor. When you think back on your favorite Christmas treats, it's not just the taste that stays with you. It's the moments. The time spent decorating cookies with loved ones. The thrill of biting into a still warm slice of stollen. Or the comfort of sitting by the fire with a piece of fruitcake and a mug of cocoa. Each treat holds a little bit of that magic. A reminder of the love and care that goes into making them. Imagine now the calm of the bakery. The faint glow of the twinkling Christmas lights reflects off the frosted windows, and the air hums softly with the peace of a day well spent. The trays of gingerbread men, sugar cookies, and spiced loaves seem to shine in the quiet light, as if proud of the joy they will soon bring. It's a stillness filled with anticipation, a quiet celebration of everything the season represents. Baking is a tradition that transcends time and place. From the saffron buns of Scandinavia to the rosca de reyes of Mexico, the gingerbread houses of Germany to the pizzelle of Italy, every culture adds its own flavor to the holiday season. These treats remind us of our shared humanity, the universal desire to create, to share, to celebrate. So as you rest and let the thoughts of Christmas baking settle, think about the joy in simple things, the scent of cinnamon, the warmth of the oven, the feeling of dough beneath your hands. Let those memories and sensations bring you peace, like the bakery itself, quiet and content, waiting for the next day's adventures. For now, the work is done. The treats are made, the stories told, and the magic of Christmas baking lingers in the air, ready to weave its way into hearts and homes. Close your eyes. Let the glow of the season surround you and drift into a peaceful rest, wrapped in the warmth of sugar, spice, and everything nice.